name is Todd and I'm the founder of Ashaya Yoga, and welcome to Asana Spotlight. Great to see you, great to be with you, and this is a time when we take just about 20 minutes or so, sometimes a little longer, to explore the details and technique of a particular posture. So today's pose is going to be Ardha Chandrasana. Ardha means half, Chandra is moon, so it's the half moon posture. And it's a standing balancing posture, which is great for developing strength and balance and steadiness. So if you know of anyone who needs more balance and more strength in life today, which who doesn't, then please share this class with someone. Just go ahead and share it. And that's one way that we can spread more light and energy and goodness, and especially balance and steadiness, which is so needed. So steadiness is a virtue of the heart that's very valuable, especially during times where it's uncertain and we have a lot of challenges. And for those that are, getting older in life, balance becomes a crucial issue. And one of the ways to maintain steadiness in our posture through like everyday living, including walking and just doing activities, is to develop the muscles in the legs and the hips, and especially the gluteal muscles. And this posture in particular puts all the pressure on one leg, and the hip on that side gets really strong. So one other thing about steadiness is that it brings in a sense of inner confidence. And this confidence is so needed during this time, when everything's uncertain. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of good happening in the world, but it really is. And the more you look for the good, the more you're going to find it. It's just that that's really not what is on the media these days. And there's also so many, very difficult things happening, so much suffering. So to be steady in your center, to maintain the sense of what are your values, what is your purpose, and how to really serve from the heart to help bring more freedom from suffering. You have to be steady in yourself. So this idea of steadiness is not only a physical characteristic to help you and save you from falling just in your day-to-day life, because you'll have more balance, but it's also about how to maintain a sense of peaceful calm inside, which is so needed today. So let's get started. Come to a standing position and join me at the top of your mat. For today's practice, you'll need one or two blocks, yoga blocks. And we're also going to use the wall. So if you've got a wall or a door nearby, you could also have something like a chair, something that will help you to balance if you know that your balance is a little shaky. Let's do a little warm up. So please stand in Tadasana with your feet absolutely parallel, palms in front. Just inhale, big breath up, and just stretch your arms overhead, let out any sounds, and then exhale, release your arms down to the side, palms together. Inhale, with steadiness, hug muscles to bones. Lift your toes, hug your legs. When you exhale, imagine you can push down like if you're in a sea of honey. So a little bit of resistance in the arms also helps muscles to engage. When you're steady, what happens is that your heart opens because you have a sense of calm. You're more perceptive. And when your heart opens, you recognize your true nature, which underneath all the stress is joy, a sense of deep, deep inner peace. Coordinate the movement with your breath. Inhale, sweep your arms out to the side and up, and then exhale, arms down to the side, palms in prayer position. Face the short edge of your mat. Inhale, stretch up. And then exhale, lead with your heart and fold. Here's where you may need to get a couple of blocks. And you just put the blocks here so you don't have so far to go down. Because what I'd like you to work on here is to get your shins perpendicular, bend your knees a bit. Then take your thigh bones back, get your hamstrings to stretch out.
but we don't want to take the thighs back like this, where the knees go back and the hips go back. So your hips are generally up over your ankles, maybe slightly back. Knees are bent. And then, with steadiness, hug your legs, hug muscles to bones, and then push your thigh bones back more. Exhale and bow. Keep your legs steady now. As you lift your heart, come up halfway. Inhale. And then exhale and fold. Go in a little bit deeper now. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, bow. Another way to get the leg muscles to engage is to imagine that you could isometrically pull your heels backwards. It's a very interesting sensation, but as soon as you try to move your heels backwards, the hamstrings hug and they start to stretch. Okay, keep your blocks nearby and then step back, downward facing dog pose. Alternately press your heels, bend the opposite knee. Get some good stretch, some movement, some warmth in the legs. And then bend both knees, turn your thighs in, lift your sitting bones, and try to produce a lower back curve. You have to really pull up on the sitting bones. And then lengthen the curve, pull your tail in, belly pulls in. Look at your hands, claw your finger pads and the roots of your fingers. So I'll say pads and roots, and then pull up. Hands to heart, lift your armpits, heart stays calm, release the heart toward the earth. And then from your heart, just push back down into your hands and push through your heels. Heart to hands, heart to heels, and stretch. Okay, look forward, exhale, lunge, right foot forward. Here's where the blocks really do come in handy. So you don't have to reach down as far. So please take advantage of using the blocks if you need to. Otherwise, eagle talons, fingers down. And stretch, right hand on the right leg. And just lift your heart up to the right. And then exhale, touch the floor. Come and stretch the right leg straight. And then exhale, bend. Inhale, stretch it straight and bend. And now keep it straight. Step your back foot in a little bit. Turn your left foot out slightly. And just scissor your legs toward each other. As soon as you scissor, you'll notice the left hip starts to come forward and the right hip goes back. So we want the hips to be square, both pointing evenly to the front. And you should be getting a very deep hamstring stretch, which is what we're going to try to stretch when we get into half moon. Okay. You can step your left foot back. Now, bring your left knee down to the floor. We're going to turn out. So just walk your hands out to the left until you're here. Let me switch so I can mirror you. This way. So your right leg is out to the side. Root down through your right heel. Pull it in toward the center. Center your left knee underneath your hip, hands to hips. Thigh bones back, tailbone in, and then begin to arc. So stretch out over your right leg. This approximates the stretch that we're going to need to get in the front leg of Ardha Chandrasana, but without the balance. Very good. And inhale. Come up, spin back around. Go to plank. And then exhale, left foot forward. Good. Back knee can stay down. Do a little twist to the left and breathe, shoulders back. Yeah, enjoy the stretch. Come back to center. Lift your back knee and then stretch your left leg straight. Exhale and bend. Inhale, straight. Exhale, bend. And then keep it straight. Step your back foot in a bit. Turn your back foot out slightly. And then here we go. Scissor the legs with steadiness. The muscles hug. Right hip comes forward. Left hip goes back a little bit and bow. Good. And then bend your left knee. Step your right foot back a little bit, knee on the floor. And then turn, walk your hands out to the right. And I'm going to show you this way. So your left leg is extended. And again, your right knee's underneath your hip. And then with steadiness, just pull in toward the midline to get your leg muscles to engage. And then stretch up and arc over the left leg. Take your thighs back a little, tailbone in a little, and enjoy the stretch. This one is called Parigasana, the gate pose. And I'm using it today as a little bit of a warm-up. All right, exhale, release, and come back into downward facing dog pose. And then step by step, walk in. Root through your feet, sweep your arms out to the side, come all the way up, and exhale, release, palms in front. Okay, so you should feel a little bit warmer now than when you started. Let's go to the wall. One of the things that helps the balance is we're going to come onto one leg, and then we balance on one leg and one hand. So your hand can come down onto a block to just take care of your hamstrings. If your hamstrings are tight, then it's going to be much more difficult to touch the floor. And we'll be a little bit away from the wall, like an inch or so that you can lean slightly in the wall. So we're going to take balance totally out of the picture. All right, so put your block near the wall. And step back a little bit, and then right foot forward, lunge. And let's see, we want to get a little bit closer to the wall, so maybe 2 inches or so from the wall. Watch out for any doorknobs or anything else that might be in the way. And then fold forward, and the placement of your right hand on the block or on the floor is really important. So I call it the 10 and 2 position. So we want to go about 10 inches forward and 2 inches to the right of the little toe. So 10 and 2. Make sure you have enough room with the wall and everything so you can put your hand there on the block. And you can turn this block to whatever height is needed. There's 3 different levels. So the tallest, the middle, and then if the block is flat, it's the least amount. And of course, if you don't need the block, then you can put your hand in eagle talons. But here, just go into lunge. And then exhale, push off with the back foot and balance on the right foot and the right hand. Okay? And then get in a little closer to the wall. I'm a little too far away. So that your leg goes to the wall. Lift your back leg, left leg goes up. Kind of went out of the picture. All right, let's try this. All right, so you're here. Very good. Okay, lean into the wall. Bring your left hand to your hip. Stretch your left arm up. Very good. And then turn your heart up to the sky and try to bring your left shoulder all the way to the wall. Now, with steadiness, pull up from your right foot to your hip, hug your muscles to the bones, and then inner rotate your thighs. So stick your butt out, and you're going to put your butt toward the wall, and then pull your tailbone in. And this action of tailbone in must also include a wrap of the right buttock muscle back. So you have to pull the outer right hip crease back and hug it's the gluteal muscles onto the bones there. And that's going to give you a lot of strength. If you feel like you have good balance, and turn your head and look up past the thumb. Now, how high should you lift your back leg? Well, at least as high as the hip. Okay? And then spread your toes. Very good. We want both the inner and outer edge of the left thigh to stretch. So if you lift it way up high, That's going to give you too much stretch on the inner edge. And if your left leg is way down like this, then there's more stretch on the outer edge. So we want the balance. Good. Of course, the longer you hold, the more intense the stretch. And then exhale, bring your left hand down to the floor, bend your right knee, and you can either step back into lunge or just bring your left foot parallel to the right. Root through your feet, bend your knees, and slowly come up. Oh. Okay, now just take a moment and compare and contrast your legs. So the right leg should feel really full of energy right now. My right leg actually feels longer than the left. All right, let's make balance. So I'm going to try to figure out my space here. So put the block near the wall and step back, and then you're about maybe 3 inches from the wall, and then lunge, left foot forward, and come down. Bring your left hand to the 10 and 2 position. Get in a little closer to the wall, and then push off with the back foot. You can keep your left knee bent and come up. Yep. Awesome. Right hand to your hip. Bring your left shoulder to the wall. Find the wall with your right heel. Lean into the wall. Use it. And then with steadiness, hug your muscles to the bones. Thighs back, tail in, and really pull the left outer hip crease back. Yeah, it's kind of a wrap of the left gluteal muscle onto the bone. Heart to the sky, right arm up. And then see if you can get your right shoulder blade back onto the wall. Even the head can go back, and then turn and look up past your thumb. Every inhalation, spread your toes, scissor your legs, and with steadiness, muscles to bones. When you have steadiness, you also have confidence. And confidence is what's needed to be able to accomplish your goals and bring the dreams you carry in your heart into the world. All that with steadiness. Hold and breathe. And then maintain the connection of muscles to bones. And then from the core of the pelvis, just radiate back out. So shine more. Root down through your left foot. Lift your right leg a little bit higher and push out from pelvis through your lifted foot. Awesome. And exhale. Turn to look towards the floor. Bring your right hand down. Bend your left knee and either lower your back foot into a lunge or bring your right foot parallel to the left. Root down through your feet and inhale and come up. All right, so how'd you do? Okay, should we try it in the middle of the floor? Let's. There are many ways to get into this pose, but I find that by going into it through a lunge, it's a little bit easier. So have your block ready. Step to the back of your mat. Exhale, right foot forward like this. Okay. And now you're very close, so you just bend forward a little bit, and there's the floor, there's the block. Then exhale, push off with the left toes. Bring your right hand to 10 and 2. 2 inches to the outside of the little toe. Stretch your right leg straight. And then lift your left leg and experiment with a little bit higher through the left leg. Hug muscles to bones, left hand to your hip. Now thighs back, tail in, and radiate out. So from your pelvis, just extend roots down through the right leg. Go back to where you can pull the outer right hip crease back. Pull your tailbone in more and wrap the outer right hip crease and pull the lower right ribs up. Yes. If you look down, there's a little more steadiness. If you want to look out to the side, that's a little more wildness, then you can look up even more. And it's totally crazy because your world will spin. So you have to maintain a lot of steadiness in the lower body before you can actually look up. And it's also okay to fall. There's no mistakes ever. Falling is learning. Exhale, sweep down to the floor. Let's take it back into downward facing dog pose for a moment. And breathe. Come down to child's pose. Big toes touch, knees a little wider. Take 2 or 3 breaths just to rest before we finish on side 2. Inhale, come up. Come stand, prepare for side 2. And place your block in approximate location. Step back. We're going to take an easy lunge forward with the left leg. Fold forward. There's the block. If you need the block, if not, then just on eagle talent. So we're going to go 10 inches in front and about 2 inches to the outside of the right foot. Ready? Push off with the back leg. Left leg straight. Good. Take a breath. Open to the bigger energy so the skin softens. Then maintaining that, pull your muscles into the bones with steadiness. And try to even lift like the left kneecap. Try to get the kneecap to pull up the leg. Then right hand to the hip, thighs back, tailbone in. Lift your right leg a little bit higher, spread your toes. And then from the pelvic core, radiate down through the left leg, out through the right. Stretch your right arm up. And from your pelvic core, stretch out through your spine. And then all muscles all at once, hug to the middle. Just pull everything in to the gravity center of the pose, the spanda center in the pelvis. Very good. Thighs back, tail in. Wrap the outer left hip crease back and try to wrap the gluteal muscles of the left hip onto the leg. And then experiment with where to look. So I find that looking down is the easiest. And then to the side a little bit harder, and then all the way up is very difficult. Breathe. Enjoy the stretch, Ardha Chandrasana. Remember, with steadfastness, you build confidence. And we need confidence to stay true to ourselves, to stay in our center, even during stormy times. Exhale. Bend your left knee. Right hand comes down, lower your leg. And then come into Uttanasana. Right foot steps forward, root through your feet. Bend your knees a bit, push down through both legs. Inhale, stretch up. And exhale. Palms down in front. And breathe. Now feel the balance on both feet. Should be very, very steady and even. And feel and experience the increase in steadiness inside. Close your eyes for a moment. May you bring this steadiness and centeredness and a sense of being balanced with you throughout this day. We'll take a deep breath in now and chant Om. Om. May all beings be steady and free. Namaste. Thank you so much. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. People who need to work on their balance, tone the leg muscles. This is a great little mini Asana spotlight is what we call it. Thank you for taking this time. Bye.